it's been, laced with twine, reaching birth and bleeding time, blanket reasoning for crime, judging for all God's creations, living fast and dying patient, vampiristic, blatant vagrants making millions out of sight, pickled products of our culture picked through by debating vultures, wondering if they'll make good mulch or if they should be left to die. Rudimentary contraptions make us feel we're taking actions, but they'll just become distractions till we take work to form the Seems I'm a little girl. Seems I know little or nothing. This political system's got me gawking and blushing. Sounds like strings of dirty words taught on impossible learning curves. My folks would have me choose one, think or swim, teach or learn, but I can't choose, and I never will. I can't act or snooze. I can't eat or kill. Life is a cycle, and to it we must pay homage. We must nurture solid fruit amidst this thick barrage. We must be our advocates. We must be our friends. We must stick around and tell us how our story ends. For we will own that ending, and we ought to own it proud, knowing that we found our place amidst the thriving crowd. Someone once told me, at the end of the day, all you have is your pride. At the end of the day, I have my pride and vulnerability, my dignity, my truth, my random instability, my sacredness, my youth, my jadedness, my anxiousness, my shiftlessness, my lust, my brilliance and stupidity, my realism, my trust. I have my inconsistencies, I wear them all with pride. I have my skills and sanctity, I know where they reside. I have my reservations, but I have my actions too. I have these things, I keep them, and they stick to me like glue. I cannot shed my poison, only morph it into fuel. Embrace the change, the only constant, that's my goal. Thanks.
Looked me straight in the eyes as her face further wilted into black rose petals with every exhale. I danced in her dust, her skin perfuming mine until the carbon dioxide ran out because I couldn't breathe fast enough. I was thrown into the black hole generation, our limbs a step too flat, a step too sharp, easing into a cellulite crescendo, hailed by saturated screams. We all froze in midair, nebulizers scrutinizing their necks to kiss our eyelids. Sanctum sanctorum, sanctum sanctorum. I would have built a better fire, but the kindling burned like fists of memory. The power couple, the lumberjack, the low down, the generalists, the alcoholics, the suicide idealists, the historians, the autopilots, the demons, all falling quicker than I could again stand. My legs were out of tune. Each bone stroked a chord in pitchfork frequency, screaming, I love you, screaming, fuck you, screaming, I'll change, screaming, sanctum sanctorum, sanctum sanctorum. Temples were eaten by circus lions in velvet collars, and people were snowed in their homes by freshly fallen coats of aging pages that were now nothing but yellow stone. Every four-legged creature and lush pissed on them for 24 hours straight, and I still couldn't stand. As the faces framing our black hole all laughed like cockroaches after nuclear summers spent under kitchen cabinets. The survivors presented their medals a la mode. The table of elements was amputated because they figured nothing could exist in its purest state as long as molecules kept acting like humans. Even poetry was tarnished. The words cried out, fuck me, just for reassurance purposes. Untouched, they meant nothing. Sanctum sanctorum, sanctum sanctorum.
Come as you are, no I don't have a gun. have a series of unintelligible quotes arranged in a monochromatic line with no particular cadence to discern whether I'm lying or telling the absolute zero truth. At one point in my fragile little egotistical life, I realized that I am not my grunge and I am not the shady gray overcast blob of obscurity constantly pounding down upon me with a soft drizzle of cocaine highs and psychotropic lows could not amount to the innumerable years of isolation, decrepitude, suffering, and woe I've wretched place. Is it any wonder that Kurt Cobain blew his own brains on the carefully decorated carpets and the plain plaster walls of his Lake Washington home, finding a resting place that he can finally call home? And much like Cobain, you'll eventually find my body lifeless in fetal position with an eternal look of disdain mixed with gut-wrenching pain. His system was full of heroin, Valium, and cocaine. They'll say much like a ubiquitously infamous Mr. Cobain, but I swear that I don't have a gun and there is no lithium inside the body of a pragmatic protest. How else would I have passed that goddamn dogmatic drug test? But never mind the semantics. Bottom line is that I was destined for a fiery crash of a life upon the back of I was destined for a fiery crash of a life like two wings strapped upon the back of Icarus, or maybe the fiery white horse drawn chariot of Ben-Hur hurtling towards the mouth of the river Styx, final destination. Soggy cereal likes to be saturated, sympathetic sacks of shit sit on hold lately. 80 lakes could be filled with thoughts of how we pillaged it, raped the sea, piss poor parents acknowledge an unfair world while computer-raised children drown in self-made seas of sorrow. Tumultuous tides of intolerance rise directly influenced by 6 billion pairs of blind white eyes. Corporate agendas creep into African lives while whole populations become mere victims of genocide, like Sudanese Saudis sip succulently on virgin blood wine, raping religiously the reluctant youth as they scream and cry, and kids with guns implore my dark continent to bleed through the soil. The color of her heart is blacker than that of Middle Eastern oil. Mother Africa, how I miss you so. Away from my birthplace I have no purpose and have long since lost my soul. Come back to me please, like an immaculate dream. Mother Africa, please don't ever leave my memories.